Okay, so today we're going to dive into something called the paradigm process. It's a framework that really gets to the heart of a huge question. Why do so many of us feel like we're hiding our true selves? We're going to look at the masks we all wear and the journey to find our way back to who we really are. You know, this line from a poem, it just hits you, right? It perfectly captures that feeling I think we all know. That sense that we're hiding behind some kind of facade. We're afraid that if anyone saw what was really underneath, they might not accept us. So that's the big question, isn't it? If these masks make us feel so disconnected and alone, why on earth do we build them in the first place? What purpose are they even serving? Well, it turns out these masks often start as a survival strategy. When we're young, we learn to build these walls to protect ourselves, to get approval, and to hide the parts of us we think are flawed. They really begin as a defense mechanism, just to help us navigate the world when we're vulnerable. And this is where it gets really interesting. The framework actually gives these hidden forces a name, framing them almost like antagonists in our own personal story. It's a crazy thought, right? The very personality we created to keep us safe can, over time, become a prison that we've built for ourselves. Those same coping mechanisms that helped us as kids can start to really limit us as adults, and that's where all the stress and disconnection comes from. So what are they called? Ego insurgents. You can literally think of them as the supervillains of your inner world. They're those critical voices in your head that are fueled by fear, always telling you you're not good enough, keeping you totally fixated on judgment and control. All right, so let's meet a few of these characters. First up, we have the controller. This is that part of us that just has to manipulate people and situations to feel safe. It's all driven by this deep lack of trust and a real fear of the unknown. Then you've got the victim. This is the part of us that feels completely powerless and is always blaming everything and everyone else for its problems. It keeps us totally stuck in this cycle of resentment and helplessness. And oh, this one. A lot of us will recognize this guy. The perfectionist. This insurgent sets these impossible standards and is terrified of any little hint of imperfection. And the irony is, that fear is so strong it often leads to procrastination because it just can't handle doing anything that isn't flawless. Okay, so we've met the villains, the controller, the victim, the perfectionist. If they're the problem, what's the solution? Well, the idea isn't to fight them, but to go on a completely different kind of journey. The solution is a conscious journey inward, a true paradigm shift. It's all about letting go of that false, fear-based self so you can rediscover your authentic nature, which the source material calls the sacred self. And this really lays it all out, side by side. You've got these two completely different worlds we can live in. The fear-based personality is all about the ego, survival, seeing separation, and it's always stuck worrying about the past or the future. But that love-based sacred self, it's guided by intuition, it feels connected, and it lives right here in the present moment. So where does all this begin? It all starts with one simple but incredibly powerful thing: awareness. The very first step on this whole journey is just recognizing the masks we're wearing and the stories we're telling ourselves. That right there, that's where the transformation starts. Okay, that sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? This isn't just an idea. There are specific, practical tools for this journey back home to ourselves. At the heart of this whole process is a really powerful practice, and it's called loving inquiry. Think of this as a step-by-step way to challenge those narratives our ego insurgents are always spinning. You start by just noticing a stressful story or thought. Then you ask yourself, is this really true? And get this, the source notes that research shows up to half of our memories can be inaccurate. How wild is that? From there, you reconnect with your core values, and then you consciously choose a new response, one that's based in love, not fear. And the more you practice this, you start to build something called contemplative intelligence, or CQ for short. It's basically a higher level of awareness that gives you the power to manage your own mind, body, and emotions, instead of just being controlled by them. So what's the payoff here? What does life actually look and feel like when we start to live beyond the mask? I mean, just look at the difference here. A life rooted in fear is so often defined by things like blame, jealousy, loneliness. But when we shift to a life rooted in love, we start to experience gratitude, courage, trust, and real, genuine connection. And let's be clear, this isn't just about feeling a little bit better. It's a total game changer. It's a fundamental shift from just surviving your life to authentically thriving in it. And the rewards of making the shift are just profound. But the coolest part is that it's not about adding something new to yourself. It's about recovering the amazing qualities that were always there, just buried under all those masks. Genuine connection, real joy, resilience, and this deep, unshakable sense of inner peace. You know, it all comes back to this ancient piece of wisdom from Aristotle. It just goes to show you, this modern process is built on a timeless truth. The path to real wisdom always begins by turning inward to truly know yourself. And that's what this whole process leaves you with. This one final, really powerful question to ask yourself. It's an invitation to look past all the masks and the limiting stories and just wonder, if you let go of your story, who could you become?